With the Biden-Putin summit as headline news, back home there have been some pretty big developments. The U.S. government has launched a war on terror at home. The first ever national strategy for fighting domestic terrorism has been rolled out, and white supremacy is listed as the #1 threat.
The two most lethal elements of the domestic violence extremist threat are racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists and militia violent extremists. In the FBI's view, the top domestic violent extremist threat comes from racially or ethnically motivated violent extremists, specifically those who advocated for the superiority of the white race.
Biden is all in on this one, and he says it will help reunify the country.
This is a project that should unite all Americans. Together we must affirm that domestic terrorism has no place in our society. We must work to root out the hatreds that can too often drive violence.
In the name of unity, Biden is urging Americans to report on their friends and family so that they can be de-radicalized, and Americans are already doing that. Over 100,000 pieces of digital media have already been provided to the FBI by the U.S. public in order to help them investigate the January 6th Capitol riots.
Those who are family members or friends or co-workers know that there are pathways and avenues to raise concerns and seek help for those they have perceived to be radicalizing and potentially radicalizing towards violence.
Biden says that he plans to work with social media companies to help fight disinformation and to educate the public.
We are working with the social media companies to be able to better identify the false narratives, to be able to identify disinformation and misinformation, and really educate the American public.
Now, Biden insists this will not target speech, but how does that work when policing social media and labeling certain ideas as dangerous is already part of the plan?
Extremely insulting to many groups of people in this country. And the timing is interesting because they said Biden's administration has said that white supremacy, whatever that is the greatest domestic terrorism threat in this country. We can only assume what they're talking about is Trump supporters. They're talking about working class people of all colors, by the way, and all sexualities and what have you, who kind of look like the people we saw at the Capitol on January 6th. So the Biden administration, of course, doesn't have any interest in stopping political extremism. More because he would have mentioned Antifa and he would have mentioned the more violent elements of Black Lives Matter. There might be some interesting legal issues that come up. Should big tech be reporting people that it thinks are white supremacists or white nationalists? Something tells me they probably already are. I mean, the big tech works so closely with the U.S. government and with the Democrat Party and any liberal institution. Who knows what information they're sharing and who knows what they're doing behind the scenes. One of those dangers, an innocent person being persecuted because they said some, unsavory things on the internet or drunk at a bar or something, right? And I think we will see a lot of those cases.
Now, the original war on terror did not work out so well. Terrorist groups have gotten bigger and stronger since it began. Many are looking on and wondering exactly how successful we should expect these new operations launched within U.S. borders to be. Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.